So let's practice taking a couple derivatives implicitly. So the first function is y squared equals x, taking the derivative with respect to x. So the derivative of y squared is bring down the 2, reduce the power by 1, times chain rule, dy dx. Again, the way to think about this is, remember, y squared is really the same as f of x squared. And if I ask you to take this derivative, you would bring down the 2, reduce the power by 1, and then chain rule to the inside. So that's why you have a 2y, y prime. So 2y dy dx or y prime. Derivative of x with respect to x is 1, or dx dx. And you always want to solve for dy dx, so dy dx in this case is just going to be 1 divided by 2y. That's your answer. Okay. Take the derivative with respect to x. So derivative of 4x squared with respect to x is just 8x, or 8x dx dx, but we don't need to write that, minus 2 dy dx is equal to 0. I need to solve for dy dx, so I'm going to subtract the 8x over and divide the negative 2. So you should get to dy dx is going to be equal to 4x. Okay, this one here. Okay, derivative of 4y to the fourth is going to be 4y cubed. Don't forget chain rule always when you see that y. Plus 3 dy dx minus 12x squared is equal to 5. We have to solve for dy dx, so you can do it in one step if you want, but really what you're doing is leaving everything with dy dx on one side, move everything else over to the other side, and then you are factoring out the dy dx, and then what you can do is divide this out. So your final answer should look like this. And if you can go from here to here, that's fine. You don't need to show me the intermediate steps. Okay, last one here. Derivative with respect to x. This is going to be dy dx equals. You do need to use the product rule here because you're multiplying x squared times sine of y. So derivative first is 2x times the second plus the derivative of the second is cosine of y, but be careful, your angle is y, so the chain rule on y gives you another dy dx. So derivative of the second is cosine of y times dy dx times x squared. Okay, again, we got to solve this for dy dx, so move everything that has dy dx on one side. So I'm going to subtract all of this over, minus x squared cosine y dy dx. Everything else stays on this side. And then I can factor out a dy dx and divide all that over. So if I factor it out of here, notice you'll be left with 1 minus x squared cosine of y, which goes on the bottom.